Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
Yep.
And don't forget you can get the news as a podcast by simply searching for WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from. But coming up today, the latest NXT ratings are in.
Big network worries for WWE ahead of Fox debut.
Could we be in for a huge WWE return soon?
Jerry Lawler on Raw. Is he here to stay or will he bugger off?
This is the news.
Anyway, we're going to kick things off with a little bit of commentary on the NXT champion because Adam Cole injured. Injured. He might be injured. He probably isn't because I think these things are worked. But anyway, yesterday saw WWE upload another one of those NXT Injury update videos under the WWE Now banner, presented by some fella called Matt Camp. Looks like a lovely young man who has his life together. Anyway, he kind of ran through everything that happened on NXT, all the wrestlers who were hurt, and the biggest name on that was Adam Cole, who he claimed is questionable status-wise, having suffered an arm fracture after Matt Riddle armbarred him on this week's episode of NXT. Apparently, per the narrative, Cole was sent to the emergency room, but there's currently no word on what might happen with the Matt Riddle match, which is set for next week. But if you ask me, this is setting up for that classic pro wrestling trope of the heel champion, the heel wrestler, coming out with a loaded arm cast that he can batter Matt Riddle with for a DQ, a nice easy DQ finish.
Yeah, I sense that there isn't that much truth behind all this. And even if there was, there's a little bit of me that they'd have to go, sorry mate, you're the NXT champion and this is the first week of NXT against AEW. I don't care if your arm's hanging off, get out there and fight Matt Riddle.
I don't care if you're on your deathbed, brother.
And it also works well into the storyline of the match.
Yeah, it does. It's a nice sleazy thing for the heel to do. It's good stuff. There were other injury updates on there as well. Raul Mendoza is apparently questionable, fractured rib. Dominic Dijakovic is day-to-day with a cervical strain. I don't know what that is, but it sounds really painful. And Kushida is questionable due to a undisclosed wrist injury suffered in the main event. So, you know, while all of these things are probably works, I really like this video because it kind of adds like weight and like consequences to these matches. The guy showing up going, hey, this is a really physical sport. These guys got hurt. Here's a list of everyone who's out. Last week they reported the Velveteen Dream was hurt and he wasn't on this week's show. It's cool stuff. They also reported that, you know, Arturo Ruiz had broken fingers, which is probably definitely not real, but still.
Yeah, I mean, ever since AEW has been on our screens or been, you know, talked about, there's always been this real sports feel sort of bleeding back into the whole wrestling industry, and I'm all for it, to be perfectly honest.
Good stuff.
Let's continue to talk about NXT because the NXT ratings have come out and they are down, although I still think very pleasant if you're a fan of NXT and hoping that they'll do well. They are down from 1.2 million last week to a flat 1 million viewers this week on the USA Network, of course, which is, you know, disappointing that they've gone down, but it is to be expected. And I think last week, if we'd have said they're going to do 1 million views, you'd have taken that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you absolutely would have. You know, we've spoken about this at length. The first one, the shiny new thing. 1 week later, when it is no longer or less of the shiny new thing,
it's also just sort of spinning the wheels before the proper launch next week when they go head to head.
Exactly. You know, it'll find a baseline. It'll stay, you know, kind of stay relatively stable, and maybe trends will start emerging. But yeah, no, I mean, it's still 1 million viewers. It's still double what most industry people expect AEW to do.
And it's still 1 million more than AEW did.
Yeah.
So
what's that, 4-0 so far in the Wednesday night?
I think that TV deal has taken an L, definitely.
Yeah, it's not really a war, this, is it? It's just kind of a shellacking.
I can't wait for next week.
I can't believe AEW hasn't even held a show yet, man. Pathetic. But yeah, no, it's still a really good number. Yeah. It's a 15% drop. They were 8th, I believe, on the night in the 18 to 49 demographic, the key demographic. I believe that TNT in the AEW TV slot showed Beauty and the Beast and got like 670,000, which is a nice little number, but yeah, good stuff.
Tale as old as time.
Who was your favourite character in? Mine was Chip the Cup.
Yeah, Chip or Mrs. Potts.
Went to see a pantomime once.
Real name of the Beast?
Tony Bones.
Adam.
Oh, wow.
There you go. There's your fact for the day. Take that with you. Spread it to other people and tell them WhatCulture sent you.
Yeah, maybe we should give him a job because we only hire people called Adam. You know those guys in the comment section who think my name is Adam?
For God's sake.
Mental. Anyway, shall we keep on rolling?
Yeah.
So news from the United States. Well, all of our news is from the United States, really. That was a really stupid segue. Dish Network, a satellite provider in the US, have dropped Fox over... I know. What's happened to this Fox? Is he get the vets? Nobody knows. They dropped Fox in the US last night, meaning that Fox channels like Fox and FS1 are now available in 12 million less homes, theoretically, in major markets like New York City, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Fox, of course, is the channel that will be carrying SmackDown on Friday nights as of next week. There's all kinds of stuff going here. It was a carriage dispute. WWE have tweeted about it, which shows it has affected them, saying, "Attention Dish customers, Dish took Fox FS1 and more off your channel lineup. Don't miss the premiere of Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. Visit keepfox.com to find another provider today." And then there's some dopey hashtags. This is particularly interesting because it means that potentially SmackDown has lost availability to 12 million people, although you'd imagine like a number of people will migrate over to other providers, or maybe this dispute will be solved.
I was going to say, this isn't permanent, is it?
You never know. It's like, neither of us can probably sit here and go, hey, well, a TV insider, blah, blah, blah. But it's something that you'd still expect the SmackDown rating to pop a big number, because it's the first thing. It's going to be huge. It's got all kinds of crazy stuff lined up for it. But the fact that WWE went and tweeted out about this shows that, they are maybe not worried about it, but they have been affected by it.
Not only did WWE tweet about it, it wasn't like Vince or Steph or an authority figure who you'd associate with the business side of things tweeting about it. It was literally WWE. Yeah. So yeah, they are concerned by this. I sense it may get resolved by next Friday, but it could be a mitigating factor if they don't do the number that they were expecting, let's just say next week.
It's a nice excuse for them if they don't, isn't it?
Exactly. Right, let's talk about this big WWE return, both in terms of, excitement and the size of the bloke who will be returning. Because there's a lot of rumours and speculation online that Bobby Lashley could be returning to the squared circle very soon. This is all centred around a series of tweets that he sent out. He tweeted a gif of a phoenix with the word soon underneath it, and a fan responded asking whether or not he was going to interfere in that Brock Lesnar-Kofi Kingston match set for next Friday night's SmackDown. And Bobby Lashley responded with, that's an interesting idea.
Ooh, big Bobo. Getting back on the...
Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar.
That might be fun.
Big meaty bastard.
Just beef slapping,
yeah.
That's what it is. That could be really cool because they've been teasing, or that match has been rumoured for at least a year. Like Lashley has spoken about wanting it for a long, long time. He's injured at the moment, obviously. I believe the initial return date was supposed to be sometime in November, so if he does come back on the Fox debut, that's a nice surprise. That's ahead of time. And it wouldn't be surprised because the man looks like he was chiseled out of marble. Like, he's got a perfect physique. So maybe, he does have these Lazarus-like recovery skills. I'd like to see him back. I really like Bobby Lashley. I think he's boatloads of fun. WWE don't always present him in the right way, but I just love watching him doing arm wrestling and tug-of-wars and throwing Braun around and having fun matches and just being a crazy, scary, athletic monster.
The Braun feud was brilliant, in my opinion, and I think, as always, when people get injured and then come back, it's kind of hitting the reset button on them. You've got a chance to start afresh. Bring him back, have him in some, like you say, big meaty feuds. Maybe giving him a mouthpiece. I really like Leo Rush as manager, but obviously Leo's off doing other things. But I'd like to see him back. I don't want him to see him interfering in that match. I want Brock Lesnar to just squash
murder
Kofi Kingston.
Kofi.
Yeah, but I would like to see Bobby Lashley back in the ring ASAP. Get well soon, mate.
Yeah, it'll be quite a change as well. Imagine going from Kofi Kingston's title reign, this smaller guy, to your next pay-per-view match being Brock Lesnar versus big beefy Bobo. I think it'd be tremendous. Big guys. Anyway, last story of the day, Jerry Lawler back on commentary. Yesterday's announcement, pretty shocking. The Raw announcement team, they've all gone to SmackDown. They've been replaced by Vic Joseph, Dio Madden, who's been doing 205 Live commentary for about 5 minutes. And Jerry the King Lawler, he's back. He's back on TV. He's going to be doing things. He has escaped the purgatory of the kickoff show, finally. But this might not be a permanent thing. As reported by Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet, this is only a temporary measure. Lawler will be there for the first little while, but WWE are actively looking for someone else to take the chair long term. What do you reckon of this, Adam Wilborn?
I'm intrigued. I've got a question to ask you about this when we get to our Twitter questions in a sec, so I'll save it for that. But I can see why they've done it, and I think I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for the first week. tread bloody carefully. Also, shout out to Eric Vasquez, who responded to one of those big tweets of like, who's getting the best commentary team? Is it Raw, SmackDown, NXT or AEW? And they just tagged me and the Dadley Boys in it. Thanks,
imagine Sidgwick just shooting on Raw like as it's live. That'd be amazing.
So let's talk about this first question from our fans. You can tweet them at us at WhatCulture WWE that centres around Jerry Lawler. Jim Shepherd asks, do you think the reason behind Jerry Lawler being on Raw commentary is just to counteract AEW having JR? Also, do you think Dio Madden is there just to be wooden script reading cog and nothing more?
Yes and yes. I think there is certainly an element of the Jim Ross theory there, because Jim Ross a few months ago was saying, hey, when Jerry Lawler's WWE contract expires, I'm going to take him to AEW. So absolutely, can totally see that, 100%. With regards to Dio Madden, kind of hard to tell. The third person in the booth, I mean, that might be Lawler, might be the third person for all we know. In WWE is typically kind of sit there and go, yeah, cool, yeah, all right, and stuff like that.
The only good three-man booth is on NXT, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of is, apart from Marlon.
I like Murray.
Yeah, most people do, to be fair.
It's a difficult position to have, and it's throwing him in at the deep end, isn't it, the Dio Madden? Yeah. But we'll wait and see. Good luck to you.
Hope he swims.
Right, let's move on to another question from Brent Morrow Tucker. Hope I got that right. Of course, the big news breaking yesterday, John Morrison signing with WWE. Get in! So excited. Bring back the dirt sheet. But Brent asks, so Morrison breezed Fandango as the improved fashion police?
Wow, that's the best scenario I've heard so far for John Morrison's comeback. There's been all kinds of stuff on Twitter. Should he get a world title push? Should he get this? Should he get that? Should he just go to 205 Live or whatever? He's probably too heavy for that. Yeah, no, that's awesome. He fit that group like a glove. Although I am really enjoying Breezango's rebirth on NXT as sexy strippers.
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
Also, massive fan of Starship Pain. I thought it was fantastic, even though it's ridiculous as a finish. But I really, really enjoyed that.
Got some good flippy doos.
Early prediction, they're probably just going to make him do some sort of slow-mo entrance with Mandy Rose. Yeah. Just putting it out there. Final question today comes from Tom Humphreys, who says, who do you think will be the breakout star of the draft?
Oh, brother. That's kind of a tough one, because Triple H has insinuated that NXT wrestlers won't be involved in this one, and naturally you might go to one of those guys, someone who's been in development a little bit too long, but you've kind of got to look to the undermined middle of WWE's roster, and in recent months they've actually done quite a good job of involving these people like Andrade and Chad Gable getting reasonable TV runs. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint someone, which means I think you've got to go kind of weird and unorthodox. So for that reason, I'm gonna pick Darren Young. He's coming back. I honestly don't know. It's. I'm sorry. I'm doing an absolute hash of answering this question. Let's say Andrade. Why not?
Yeah, Andrade was the name who immediately popped into my head. I think, disregarding whatever they're doing with The Fiend, if Andrade switches to Raw, I can see him in and around the title picture in no time whatsoever. He is phenomenal. He's massively underrated. I think Paul Heyman would immediately recognise the talent that he has and push him to the absolute moon. Having said that, who knows, like you say, with these sorts of things. I think Braun Strowman, if he gets moved to SmackDown, could be world champion in a matter of months. But then again, it could be someone weird. It could be EC3. They could finally go, hang on, who's this lad?
Who's this sexy boy? It could be another Jinder situation. Oh, Mojo Rawley's on SmackDown now.
I've had so much therapy to get rid of that. Right, let's move on to today's and finally. And with all the reports yesterday about AEW, well, effectively turning heel with that bollocks UK TV deal, Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and everyone else have tried to turn that ship around. Did you see his tweet last night at Southside Wrestling? Now, for those not in the know, Southside Wrestling, a UK promotion, were putting on their last ever show, but look like they're probably going to have to scrap it or just change absolutely everything, since they had all their WWE wrestlers, people like El Ligero, for example, who wrestles in NXT UK. They were all pulled from the show by WWE because WWE. But Cody Rhodes has responded, tweeting yesterday, "Let me see if I can help." Not only that, but the Young Bucks responded with "Let's help them out." Luchasaurus said, "Tag me in." And MJF just did the eyes emoji. So the guys behind AEW, great. AEW themselves with that TV deal, crap. I don't know how to feel about them right now.
This is simultaneously a really nice thing to do because the promotion was gutted for their final show and they're going to bring in some big names and they'll have some cool matches, I'm sure. It's also really cynical because it's clearly them going, let's babyface ourselves after yesterday. But either way, I like both aspects of that. I think it'll be cool for the people who are missing out on the WWE talent that have been pulled to maybe see Cody, Luchasaurus, the Young Bucks, MJF, all these people. I also love the pettiness of Wrestling Wars, and I love potentially that maybe one of the main reasons they're doing this is to go, well, WWE screwed this up, so we're going to paper over the cracks. I love that crap. Give me more.
Yeah, exactly. I think you can see the machinations behind it, but at the same time, helping out someone like Southside, doing such a nice gesture like that. I mean, we already knew that Cody Rhodes was a lovely bloke, but it's just further evidence of that. So good luck to them. And Brit Rest isn't dead just yet, let's just say.
It's pretty dead, Phil.
Clear! Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or where you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Plus, you can send us Twitter questions at WhatCultureWWE. Well, actually, follow both of us. You can follow Andy at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Hamlet is always right.
And he looks like Walter. You can follow me at Will Bourne. You can follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. My thanks, Andy. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
Oh, I support my eye.